Good evening, you're watching News Mongolian Beyond. I'm your host, Ulaanbaatar. And for top stories, World Export Development Forum 2023 to take place in Ulaanbaatar next week. Night bus launches 6 routes for late-night commuters operating from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. The Olympic Museum of the Mongolian National Olympic Committee is named in honor of Magvan Shagdarjav, a well-known sports administrator. And for the news, stay tuned. Night bus launches 6 routes for late-night commuters. The night bus operates between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. and details in the next report. The night bus operates on 6 routes from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. When we arrived at the bus stop near the State Department store at midnight, there were more than 10 passengers waiting for the night bus. Most of them were young people returning home from work or children making their way home from clubs.
We have practice every day and our training session usually ends at 11 p.m. Despite the availability of taxis in the evening, they charge 1,500 to 2,000 MNT per kilometer, resulting in significant expenses. Recently, I discovered the night bus service along with my friend and have been using it since yesterday. I was previously unaware of the availability of a night bus. Taxis are quite expensive for us, so I think the night bus is a more cost-effective option.
In general, I always relied on taxis to get home. Operating a night bus along routes with high commuter traffic seems like a convenient choice, especially after work or when returning home after a night out. Also, taking the bus seems safer. The night bus caters to a wide range of individuals, including those working night shifts or in a hurry. Passengers express great satisfaction with the service, and one of the key reasons for their contentment is the consistent fare rate of 500 MNT, which remains the same as during the day, even for nighttime journeys. Previously, individuals would spend around 10,000 to 15,000 MNT for transportation by taxis. However, the introduction of the night bus service provides a more affordable alternative at just 500 MNT. The night bus offers travel options in 6 different directions until 2 a.m. The number of night bus passengers has exceeded 1,000 and continues to increase daily. The service will be available until the end of the students' holiday or until September 15th. Ulaanbaatar has intentionally chosen electric buses to mitigate air and environmental pollution in the city, as well as to reduce ambient noise levels. Each electric bus can provide service for an entire night on a single charge. The future plans for the capital's public transport system include expanding and upgrading the electric bus fleet to serve more routes. Citizens waiting for night bus can search for the SHU in the bus application to check for the available directions. Additionally, citizens traveling in 6 different directions have the convenience of transferring within a 1.5 kilometer radius of Bakhtaru and Peace Avenue. Now let's take a look at Mongolia's current affairs.
What springs to mind when you think of Mongolia?
The World Export Development Forum 2023 to take place in Ulaanbaatar next week. The World Export Development Forum is an annual event that brings together trade professionals, entrepreneurs, policymakers, and stakeholders from around the world to discuss and promote trade development. The WEDF 2023 is organized by the International Trade Center and the Government of Mongolia from 26 to 29th of June, offering a dynamic 4-day program filled with engaging sessions, workshops, and networking opportunities. The event will take place at the Shangri-La Hotel located in Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia's vibrant capital city. The event aims to provide a unique opportunity to explore the country's trade potential and foster connections for green and inclusive trade. The World Export Development Forum serves as a platform to shape trade development strategies, facilitate business opportunities, and foster sustainable economic growth. With the theme Diversify through Green Trade, WEDF 2023 aims to emphasize the importance of sustainable practices and inclusivity in international trade. The event will focus on sectors such as information and communication technology, natural fibers, and leather, offering participants valuable insights and networking opportunities.
What's more?
The Olympic Museum of the Mongolian National Olympic Committee was named in honor of Mongolian sports figure Magvan Shagdarjav, and the Hall of Fame was inaugurated in his honor. The Olympic Museum of the Mongolian National Olympic Committee was first opened in 1987 on the initiative of Magvan Shagdarjav, an honorary member of the International Olympic Committee at the Central Sports Complex. Juan Antonio Samaranch, who served as the president of the International Olympic Committee at that time, attended the opening ceremony. Magvan Shagdarjav became associated with the Mongolian Olympic movement 60 years ago and became a member of the International Olympic Committee in 1977. In 2007, in recognition of his significant contributions to the international Olympic movement, he was bestowed with the prestigious title of honorary member of the International Olympic Committee. The now 96-year-old Mr. Magvan Shagdarjav, accompanied by his children, grandchildren and officials, graced the ceremony with his presence. Magvan Shagdarjav, an honored cultural worker of Mongolia and honorary member of the International Olympic Committee, served as the chairman of the Central Council of the Physical Culture and the Sports Union in 1969 and held the position of president of the Mongolian National Olympic Committee until 1978. My father dedicated nearly 50 years of his life as a member of the International Olympic Committee, attending both the Summer and Winter Olympics without fail. The exact count of Olympians he encountered throughout his journey is not known. However, I had the privilege of accompanying my father to the Beijing Summer Olympics on a single occasion, and it was an incredibly memorable experience. From my early childhood, my father would take me to various sporting events and competitions, shaping my upbringing in a remarkable way. I consider myself incredibly fortunate to have grown up in such a family environment. Last year, the Olympic Museum received over 2,000 visitors. Currently, the museum houses an impressive collection of over 3,000 exhibits that holds historical significance in the realm of sports and the spirit of the Olympic Games. The painting competition that aims to promote the 2023 Asian Games was organized among children up to 13 years old age. The Asian Games are organized by the International Olympic Committee.
More than 100 children took part in this competition that started on the 1st of June. Anurjung and Rit shared first place in the painting competition, while Unurtsug and Holang received second place and third place awards, respectively. A building that resembles a flower is the stadium where the Asian Games 2023 will be held. The person who is standing there is Batho. He is judoka wrestler who competes in the 66-kilogram category. I drew this picture wishing him to win at the Asian Games. I researched many things using Google, such as where the Asian Games will be organized, what's the symbol of the Games, the mascot and how Mongolians can join the Games, and so on. I started to draw with my brother. My brother's drawing skill is good because I was always drawing with him. I like to draw, and I was developing my drawing skill with him. That's how I learned to draw. The best painting of the competition will join the gallery that will be arranged at the Asian Games 2023. After the Games, the painting will be stored at the National Olympic Committee. The Games were originally scheduled for 2022, but postponed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The Games will be held in Hangzhou, China, from September 23 till October 8, 2023.
Thank you for staying with us. Now let's take a look at the currency exchange rates provided by Mongol Bank. World leaders, heads of international organizations and activists are gathering in Paris for today's summit aimed at seeking better responses to tackle poverty and climate change issues by reshaping the global financial system.
President of the European Commission Ursula von der Leyen said during a panel discussion that the European Union is willing to share expertise on how to develop green bond markets, adding nobody issues more green bonds than the European Union.
Our offer is that we, first of all, share directly expertise and know-how, how you develop these green bond markets. Nobody issues more green bonds than the European Union. We had to learn it too. We've stepped up massively in the last years, but it was a learning process. So we want to share this knowledge. This is very important, and also give technical assistance and expertise to build up such a market. The second part is, of course, we also have to push the investor side. And therefore, we want to financially support the de-risking for the investors. This is the first entry, the first open door to go into these markets. And here, together with the EIB and the development finance institutions of member states, we are now committing 1 billion euros, basically to give private investors the certainty they need to step up their investments. And this could attract around 15 to 20 billion dollars of sustainable investment.
The Paris talks come as the COVID-19 pandemic, the war in Ukraine, and the global debt crisis have led to a drop in life expectancy and an increase in poverty in most countries around the world, the United Nations Development Programme reported. Developing nations point to an outdated system where the United States, Europe, China, and other big economies that have caused most climate damage are leaving the poorest countries to deal with the consequences. French President Emmanuel Macron, who organized the summit, said he believed the fight against poverty, efforts to curb global warming, and the protection of biodiversity are closely intertwined. The Paris summit has no mandate to make formal decisions, French organizers stressed, but it aims to give a strong political impetus to key issues to be discussed in upcoming climate conferences and other international meetings. Climate activists and developing nations also urge rich countries to deliver on their existing commitments.
We've had to say this should be a just transition. It must take into account the existential situation of various communities, particularly workers who work in fossil fuel establishments. What happens to them when we transit, to their job situations, communities who live in those areas. So all that needs to be taken into account, and any country that embarks on this journey must define what a just transition is going to be and what it is going to look like, so that whatever is done should not leave anyone behind.
40 heads of state and government are slated to attend the summit, many from poor and climate-vulnerable nations. Only 2 are members of the group of 7 most developed countries, Macron and German Chancellor Olaf Scholz.
Not leave anyone behind.
Here's the weather forecast of all major cities. Well, that's all for today. Thank you for staying with us. We'll see you next week with more news and updates. Have a nice evening. Goodbye.